In the heart of the Caribbean, nestled among the turquoise waters of the Atlantic Ocean, lies the lush and vibrant island of Grenada. Known as the Island of Spice, Grenada is a paradise of rolling hills, cascading waterfalls, and sprawling spice plantations. Nutmeg, cinnamon, and cocoa beans flourish in its fertile soil, making it a global hub for spice production. The island's national dish, oil down, a hearty stew of breadfruit, coconut milk, and salted meat, is a symbol of its rich cultural heritage. But beyond its natural beauty and culinary delights, Grenada is a place where family, tradition, and community are deeply cherished. In the parish of St. Mark, a humble yet wise man named Samuel lived with his two sons, Elijah and Thomas. Samuel was a skilled farmer who owned 14 acres of fertile land. His farm was a testament to his hard work and dedication, boasting goats, sheep, fruit trees laden with mangoes, guavas, and soursop, and rows of vegetables that thrived under the Caribbean sun. Samuel was a man of few words, but great wisdom, and his sons admired him deeply, though in very different ways. Elijah, the older son, was diligent and responsible. He had always been content working alongside his father, tending to the animals and crops. He took pride in the farm and saw it as his life's purpose to carry on his father's legacy. Thomas, the younger son, was more restless. He was curious about the world beyond Grenada and often dreamed of traveling to far-off lands. While he loved his father and brother, he felt a growing desire to explore life beyond the confines of the farm. Elijah, the older son, was diligent and responsible. He had always been content working alongside his father, tending to the animals and crops. He took pride in the farm and saw it as his life's purpose to carry on his father's legacy. Thomas, the younger son, was more restless. He was curious about the world beyond Grenada and often dreamed of traveling to far-off lands. While he loved his father and brother, he felt a growing desire to explore life beyond the confines of the farm. Samuel looked up from the goat he was tending and wiped his hands on his trousers. "Okay, my son, what seems to be the problem?" he asked, his brow furrowing with concern. Thomas took a deep breath. "I want a portion of goods and all my inheritance that you promised to me," he said. "On this land where we live, you have goats, sheep, fruit trees of all kinds, and vegetables. I want my portion now. I want to travel as far away from here as possible." Samuel was stunned. He had always known that Thomas was different from Elijah, but he had never expected this. For a moment, he was at a loss for words. Then, with a heavy heart, he nodded. "Thomas, if this is what you truly want, I will not stand in your way. I will go to the bank today and arrange for the money to be transferred to you." The transaction was completed later that day, and Thomas received an exorbitant amount of money. He was overjoyed and immediately began packing his belongings. 2 days later, he booked a first-class plane ticket and left Grenada, leaving behind his father, brother, and the only home he had ever known. Thomas's first destination was Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates. He checked into the most luxurious hotel in the city, Atlantis the Royal, where he indulged in every imaginable luxury. For 2 months, he lived a life of extravagance, dining at Michelin-starred restaurants, shopping in high-end boutiques, and partying with the city's elite. But as the days turned into weeks, Thomas began to feel a growing emptiness. The thrill of his new lifestyle was fleeting, and he found himself craving something more meaningful. From Dubai, Thomas traveled to Egypt, where he marveled at the ancient pyramids and the Sphinx. He stood in awe of the Great Wall of China, wandered through the bustling streets of Delhi to see the Taj Mahal, and gaze at the Eiffel Tower in Paris. He explored the historic landmarks of London and eventually made his way to the United States, where he hoped to find new opportunities. But as Thomas's money dwindled, so did his luck. By the time he reached Texas, he was nearly penniless. Desperate and alone, he found work on a farm, feeding pigs to earn enough money to survive. The work was grueling and humiliating, and Thomas often went hungry. As he sat among the pigs eating scraps to fill his stomach, he thought of his father and the life he had left behind. "I will arise and go to my father," Thomas said to himself one day, tears streaming down his face. "I will say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.'" With a heavy heart and a renewed sense of purpose, Thomas made his way back to Grenada. He had no money for a plane ticket, so he stowed away on a cargo ship, enduring weeks of hardship before finally arriving on the island. As he walked the familiar roads of St. Mark, his heart raced with anticipation and fear. Would his father forgive him? Would Elijah accept him back? One of the neighbors spotted Thomas and ran to the village to spread the news. Samuel, who had been tending to his farm, heard the commotion and rushed out to see what was happening. When he saw his son approaching, his heart swelled with joy. Without a moment's hesitation, he ran to Thomas and embraced him. "My son, you have returned," Samuel exclaimed, tears of joy streaming down his face. He turned to his servants and said, "Bring out the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattest calf and kill it. Let us eat and celebrate. For this is my son who was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." The servants hurried to carry out Samuel's orders, and soon the farm was filled with music, dancing, and laughter. But not everyone was happy about Thomas's return. Elijah, who had been working in the fields, heard the commotion and approached a servant to ask what was happening. "Your brother has come home," the servant replied, "and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has received him back safe and sound." Elijah's heart burned with anger. He had always been loyal to his father, working tirelessly on the farm without complaint. Yet his father had never thrown a celebration for him. How could Samuel welcome Thomas back with open arms after he had squandered his inheritance? When Samuel saw Elijah standing outside, he went to him and pleaded, "Son, come and join the celebration. Your brother has returned." Elijah crossed his arms and glared at his father. "All these years I have served you faithfully," he said bitterly. "I have never disobeyed your commands, yet you never gave me even a young goat to celebrate with my friends. But as soon as this son of yours comes back, after wasting your money on reckless living, you kill the fattened calf for him." Samuel placed a hand on Elijah's shoulder and looked into his eyes. "My son," he said gently, "you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad, because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." The celebration continued late into the night, but Elijah remained conflicted. He couldn't understand how his father could forgive Thomas so easily. Over the following weeks, Samuel worked to mend the rift between his sons, reminding Elijah of the importance of forgiveness and family. The celebration continued late into the night, but Elijah remained conflicted. He couldn't understand how his father could forgive Thomas so easily. Over the following weeks, Samuel worked to mend the rift between his sons, reminding Elijah of the importance of forgiveness and family. As the years passed, the farm flourished under the combined efforts of Samuel, Elijah, and Thomas. The community of St. Mark came to see the story of the prodigal son as a testament to the power of forgiveness and redemption. And though the journey had been long and difficult, Thomas knew he had finally found his true home. This expanded version of the prodigal son delves deeper into the characters, emotions, the cultural backdrop of Grenada, and the transformative journey of Thomas. It explores themes of family, forgiveness, and self-discovery, offering a richer and more nuanced narrative. Thank you for listening to this story to the end. If you enjoy this journey into Caribbean culture, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment down below.